Pretty morning out in the bee yard. Just working away. Welcome to Smoky Mountain Lash Bees, where lashes led to bees. So this is just going to be a quick little thing. I'm going to pop in and try to see if I can see the acceptance. So how many look like they were accepted and are being raised into queens of these graft that I did. My goal is to not pull the frame out with the grafted cells if I can help it. So I'm going to try to enter from the side and look in. We'll see. We know how the gals like to make things change on me, so we'll see. Yes, very low rate. Nothing on the top. Looks like we got a couple. Oh, man. Not good. This is going to set me back, isn't it? I didn't want to do this, but yeah, none of the top. Seriously? 1, 2, 3. That's not good. Okay. So I'm going to try to graft again. That's what I'm going to have to do. And to do that, I have to be very, very careful. And take, I think, the top rung and the bottom rung off. And graft again. I'm going to check and make certain, because I'm going to go do this immediately. So I'm going to go back to honey, or not honey, apple bloom, and find a frame. And this is not what I intended today. What I'll do is I will graft and I will put more bees in here, all from honey or apple bloom. So much bigger project than I intended today, but we've got good weather for it, and I got to get this done. This is going to set me back just a little bit timing wise though. Alright. I can use those 3 queen cells in one of my mating nukes though, and still get these other nukes done. So let's get to the, definitely not what I had intended for today. It was supposed to be just a little quick pop in, but Like I said, the bees change what I'm doing pretty much every time I go in. First goal is a frame to graft from. Graft. Then I'm going to shake off more nurse bees into that colony and get it heavily packed with nurse bees if I can. Packing honey away into these now. Probably gonna have to go down a box. Why do you guys have a queen cell? 2 queen cells, 3 queen cells. That's not good. None of this right now. Please tell me you have not lost your queen. You're not going to swarm. I see eggs, so she's been in here. And they've also been trying to make swarm cells. All right. Don't have cells to put in these to make some splits off from them yet. They're gonna force my hand, I think. I may find them one good queen cell to leave. I can't do this. This is not happening. I need those queen cells to take. They're gonna think they swarmed, hopefully, by the number of bees I take out and put in that mating nuke here in a second. Or, not mating nuke, but queen rearing nuke. Queenless nuke. But first I gotta find the queen. guys have already swarmed. I'm gonna be so ticked. I'm on the hunt for the queen first, but this frame will be about the best I can get for a grafting any. It's got a whole cluster of queen cells right there. Oh. So this one, I'm putting it in for warmth reasons, but that one will probably be the one I take for grafting if I can find the queen. It put me behind. I don't need to get behind. I have yet to see a queen. This is worrying me. They have eggs, so if they are queenless and I pull grafting and all, it'll still be okay. But it still ticks me off because I like this queen. I understand the instinct to multiply, but why don't we just multiply within this one hive? So now I'm gonna have to go through the whole thing again. After this last frame and look for this queen, which I've been doing the whole time. Watch her be up in the... I'm gonna check the honey super. Watch that she somehow got up in it. Before I go through this whole thing all over again, let's pop this honey super over here and see. Did she get up in my honey super somehow? So there's just putting honey away in it. So she has not gotten up in it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I am going I'm gonna pull a couple regular old-fashioned way of doing nukes off from her. I'm still gonna try to get some queens in the queenery and stuff, but we're gonna break this down and see if we can find her and do this splits. All right, let the mayhem begin. I've pulled 2 food that I had in storage for each of those, so each frame's only gonna get 3 frames. That's being 9 frames of brood out of here, and bees, which is basically the equivalent of 1 deep. So we're gonna be putting them down 1 to build up, if that makes sense. That'll knock them down, that'll get them good. Where'd my half tool go? Well, P. Diddley. Did you go see where I left my hive tool? Found it. Now I'm going to pull from the top box. Oh, here she is. Hallelujah. All right. We still have her, which is great because this one will continue on building. She's right there, safe and sound. Missed her on the first pass somehow. No worries. Just forcing me to pivot in a different direction. And this one right here will be great for grafting from, so. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use this one to graft from. So I'll still get to do everything I want it to do when the first pivot happened. let me go. A lot of this is going to stay open, so I can go graft real quick. And we'll get some more bees shook into the other after I get it grafts done. Well, that didn't go necessarily as planned. My hopes was the starter hive would have had enough cells for the first round of splits. They had 3 that they were working. 2 looked good, 1 looked iffy. So what I'm going to do is those 3 are going to go into one of my 3-way mating nukes, or 2, 3, whichever, however many get capped and ready. I did pull the top and the bottom bar off from it and regrafted again from Apple Bloom. We did find her at least, but because of everything, and she had so many queen cells in her hive too for wanting to swarm, what I did was I pulled off 3 of my old style nukes. They each have 2 frames of food that were from stores that I had in the garage. They each have 3 frames of brood and several bees shook in. So that took this colony way down. I checkered in new waxed frames in the bottom and the top deep, and I went ahead and left them the super that they were already starting to work. There was a little bit of honey in it that they'd stored, so I left that with them, but now they have plenty of room to build, grow, and keep going with Apple Bloom, and hopefully she won't want to swarm. Sometimes there's not a thing you can do. You can pull a queen and move them to another box like they have swarmed, and they still swarm again. So sometimes there's just nothing you can do. So I'm not going to fret with it. We'll see in a couple days how many of those cells were accepted. I'm going to get my mating nukes finished up their paint jobs, and they're going to go on this rack. This rack will be for other nuke boxes, and of course that rack over there for nuke boxes, and the rest of these racks are my hives, which obviously I've got to build up some of mine back that I lost this winter. So lots of things going on. Of course the camera died while I was doing the grafting, so I just had to pull my phone out because I needed to get that done. It's time sensitive to get them out, graft it back in, quicker the better. So I just went ahead and did that. Now out of these 3 nukes, the green one has cells in it. I did save some of the cells already growing from Apple Bloom into there. The other 2 will have to be checked here to see what they have produced in cells and be knocked down to only 2 cells. I didn't want to let nukes do cells on their own this year because I still tend to battle swarming. My worst part with swarming isn't actually getting, because I can pull and do the nukes and take care of it out of the hives. It's the times that the small nukes cast swarms off. And sometimes even just leaving them with 2 cells, they still cast a swarm because they've got 2 queens, and so they can split. Whereas doing the queen cell method that I'm trying, that would put 1 cell in and they're not likely to swarm. But that's where we're at. Thanks for watching my mayhem. Like I said, every time I go in here, these gals change what I have planned that I'm going to do. So thanks for watching. Leave comments, share, make certain you are following Smoky Mountain Lash Bees, that you are a part of this fun bee community and the things going on in my apiary and whatever else craziness I get into this year. Until next time, God bless, and I'll see you later. Bye.